I just had another cry and shared it with Mama. Um, so I have to be careful when I start sharing this stuff because how deeply I sensitive, how deeply I feel things. There's a gentleman named Christopher Comstock who has put up a lot of very beautiful stuff. He'll take like little shorter clips of a lot of the Voyager Guardian material stuff, right? And that comes up out of the workshops from the Voyagers and the Guardian materials with Ashiana Dion, right? And there was a video that he put up about prayers, and I was reading some of the conversations and comments in that particular video about about what information to believe and whether the guardians had abandoned them, that the parents had left, and that, in other words, there wasn't any help coming. You're left to your own devices, right? And you have my immediate response to that was, that's not true because I'm here. Because I know what I am. Okay? So I come with a lot of friends. I'm connected to a lot of friends, which represents the largest formation of consciousness, which is the largest formations of eternal love there is. It's the eternal spirit of fire. So you're not alone. We came in here to be with you. So what was being planned was not going to happen. Because there are folks out in the cosmos that are cosmic level spirit, which means we experience the eternal spirit of fire, which means we experience the eternal soul, if you will, the heart and soul, the atom seed heart of an eternal star, which is eternal unconditional love. So you could think of this as God is not going to leave a fractal of his children, which is a part of himself and herself, because it's not about gender. God, as God is defined using those letters. Ever since I was a child, I simply said to myself and acknowledged I have a connection to my heart and my soul to an eternal sun. I experience an eternal love vibration that loves me because that's what I experience being what I am in energy, which is the eternal spirit of fire with my oversoul. That's what I am because that's what I experience that I share with all of you. So I'm here on the ground with all of you. And there are others that are with us on the ground with you. All of you. Because otherwise this real estate would have been cleared already. We were not going to let it happen, which is why I, for one, voted to be here. And number two is the fact that when I think of Patty Broussard was the first unit of consciousness, a soul, that I had a personal conversation with on the phone. And I was able to read her magnet, or if you will, read the essence of who she is and how deeply she feels. And you can tell by how truthful her voice is, which is a voice print. And if you know what a voice print is, that means you're reading the frequencies that are represented by the template that she's running. So I know who the operator of the vehicles is that I'm on the phone with. Okay? So I know how deeply Patty Broussard feels in her own heart and soul of what she was willing to do, which was to give up her soul. That's the ultimate sacrifice. In order to have saved what everybody else experienced in the future, which was going back 3 billion years of how much trauma was experienced from that point forward in time. I felt the same way. That's another one of me. Because the worst that's going to happen is you'll go back to source, from which it all began, which is eternal love, which is what I experienced anyway. So when you put this sort of through the APIN interface of an application program, programs, get your program here, running programs. And I've mentioned many times about when I was a child, okay? It's collapsing fake timelines. Timelines that people are running that are running on finite light, which means they're not experiencing God on that timeline. They're not experiencing a connection to the one, the primal light and sound field. So you know that timeline is naturally going to collapse because that timeline doesn't represent eternal light, which is eternal unconditional love. So you realize that's a finite dead light timeline. So when you're a polarity integrator connected to the one, right, the eternal sound and light field, right, you got a one connection. That's the stealth code. That's the Nomi code, right? That's a reset code. That means we know how to light ourselves on fire and recalibrate everything back to zero. Right? And so I wanted to put that in there because in a physical way, she was the first soul that I met and talked to directly, soul to soul, and read what she felt. Even though you're hearing her thoughts or hearing what she's thinking and what she's communicating, it's what you feel with your soul magnetically. The power of that magnet, which is the power of that soul that is operating the software by communicating with me and mine, right? Between one file computer terminal and another one. So I know that the level that Patty operates at. And why she does what she does. And why I do what I do. Right? Which means we're all working on the same team. For the same cause. Which is the underlying causality of why we're here. Right? Love is the law. That's what life began with. That's what creation began with. Right? So love is the law because love is the law of spheres, which is the law of balance. Which means the mind is balanced. The mind's energy is in balance. So the star is in balance and there are no distortions. Right? So that you are able to broadcast a clear channel. So there's no mistaking what you are transmitting as a radio set. That another antenna can pick up and get a clear channel receiving transmission and know exactly who you are by virtue of the codes that you're transmitting, which are the frequencies that you're transmitting, that they can translate with their antenna and their biocomputer. Now they know who you are. That's a map read of another antenna. That's a map read of another biocomputer. That's not a deadlight magnet unit. That unit is connected to the real McCoy because I'm experiencing the frequencies and the vibration of the operator, which is the oversoul that is operating that equipment. That's a map read of energy, which is a map read of consciousness that is running the software. That's the job of a polarity integrator, right? Maintain the balance and the pulse, right? While work is being done. And polarity integration work is work getting done, right? Because as a child, it's like minus/plus. What do you want to load, right? So I issued a command function when I was 4 years of age. You know what a command function is? That's an elemental command function. I'm running the system. I'm running the computer. My soul's running this computer. I issue a command function. And it's a done deal, right? Which means nobody's going to kick me out of this vehicle and take it over and run my computer, right? That's really what it is, right? Math and physics, right? Alignment, being in alignment with all the stars. Built-in gate maps, right? That kind of stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with Mr. Comstock, that have no worries. I've been saying this for years. Relax. You know, there really are guardians. Okay, and there's a reason why they're called guardians. Now, if you want to call it guardian angels, that's cool. Okay, but you have angels and you have angels. You can pronounce it the same way. Angels, A-N-G-E-L-S, angels, gels, gels, and gels, like in gelatin, jello. The alphabet soup of fire letters and numbers is energy. Just dial 0, baby. You get the main fire engine, the eternal spirit of fire. How can I help you? All right. We're in the healing business. It's a triage center. Tree, like in 3. Tribeca, the echo worlds, the ecosphere worlds. Right? Yeah. Have a good evening.